Hey Narwhals, and welcome back to some more weight loss stories. Only a small percentage of our viewers actually subscribe. It's free and you can always change your mind later, so please tap subscribe to join the original 200k Narwhals. It takes 8 weeks to see your body change. Keep going. Just wanted to share my experience to encourage others. When I started this weight loss journey, I did everything right. Diet and exercise consistently. I lost an average of 2 pounds or 1 kilo a week. Yes, I did have some plateaus where it took me almost 2 weeks to lose a kilo, but overall, I stayed focused and kept losing because I kept working hard. The first weeks were hard, mentally, changing my diet, making exercise a part of my daily life, and eating at a deficit. But the hardest part? Looking at the mirror and not seeing any changes, just my perception, even if the clothes started getting looser and fitting. After 2 months of consistent effort and focus, I finally started recognizing change. The thing is, when you're at an obese or higher weight, losing 2 or 4 pounds isn't noticeable, but things are happening inside. You're still getting healthier. We need to trust the process, be patient, and work hard. You don't get fat in one day, nor skinny in one day. After 8 weeks, you will see the change, not only on your body, but in your mind and your life. Take body measurements, try your goal clothes, and take progress pics. I had to drop 50 pounds to lose 1 pant size, around 6 months for me to see a difference. It's the paper towel thing. 1 piece off a new roll doesn't look any different, but if it's almost used up, 1 piece makes a pretty big visual difference. First of all, holy crap, is that 100-pound loss impressive? Congrats on your hard work. Second, I thought I was the only one that went through that issue. For the longest time, the numbers on the scale kept changing, but my jean size was still the same, and honestly, it was so discouraging. But now, I started buying pretty much a whole wardrobe and a couple of sizes down. Today, I'm wearing these shorts that fit snuggish like 2 weeks ago when I first got them, and they're kind of loose now. I've always been told it takes about 10% of your starting weight to really notice once you start losing. I'm not quite at that 10%, but I'm starting to notice my clothes fit different, much looser and sagging. But when I look down or look in the mirror, I still can't see it. I'm hoping around the 10 to 15% of weight lost, it'll be visible. I was going to say the same thing. I thought I read a scientific article somewhere that said that humans struggled to notice anything less than a 10% change. At 10% or greater, and it became more noticeable. I very vividly remember the example is that if you were holding a 10-pound weight and added 1 pound, you might not notice. If you were holding a 10 ounce and added 1 pound, and you would certainly notice. Regardless, when I've lost weight in the past, I don't start to notice until that 10%, so I think there is something to this. And thanks for this. I've been actively trying to lose 15 pounds for the last 3 months, and I've seen almost no visible progress. I've also barely lost any weight. It's frustrating, but I know that it's taking a lot of time because I've focused on changing some foundational behaviors. I quit drinking and smoking green. I'm quitting sugar. This one is actually extremely hard for me, and I've had a lot of resets, currently and 3 weeks clean. I faced my underlying issues and I'm in therapy. I exercise more, just got a Fitbit, and I'm finding it very motivating. I'm actively logging calories again. Took some time away from this while I focused on getting sober and tackling my sugar addiction. And I'm eating super healthy overall, but not beating myself up for eating chips with friends occasionally, etc. I know that these changes will eventually show. It's damn frustrating that it's taking so long, but when I was doing calories in, calories out, and still fitting in candy every day, it just led to periods of binging after I lost weight. I'm getting off the yo-yo and actually committing to lifelong changes. As a result, I expect I'll see results soon. Thanks for the reminder to measure myself and try on goal clothes. I actually haven't lost a pound yet, but I bet I put on muscle and I'm definitely way less bloated than I used to be. I've been struggling with this as well. I've been actively losing weight since Feb and I'm down almost 60 pounds. I know my body is smaller because I've had to buy new pants a few times to keep them from falling down, but I still see myself in the mirror as almost the same size. Taking progress pics and sharing them with people you trust is important for perspective. I'm a smaller frame person, 5'1", and I have only about 10 pounds to lose. It doesn't seem like much, but it's a lot of my frame and none of my clothes fit, thanks quarantine and mindless eating. I've been working with a nutrition and strength training coach. The past 4 weeks, I've seen maybe an inch or so loss and not much happen on the scale. I can't even tell the difference in pictures. However, my husband commented, "I can tell you've lost weight." And I was like, "Well, you're wrong because the scale barely registers a 2-pound loss." And today, I was able to put on some workout shorts that had previously not fit. It's the first day of my new training block, and your "it takes 8 weeks to notice changes" really spoke to me, so thank you for this. Here's to hoping I can finally see some difference for myself these next 4. We are our own worst critics, for sure. This is so encouraging. I've commented before about this, but it reminds me of an idea from the book Atomic Habits, James Clear. He likened a physical plateau to a bamboo plant. No visible growth above ground, but underground there's a rapidly forming root system. It's only a matter of time before the plant explodes in visible rapid growth. Visualizing my progress building up to an underground threshold has helped me so much. And this was pretty clear during the final stretch of my weight loss. I was at 150 pounds and working my way down to 130. I was working on my master's at the time, so basically my daily routine was just work, school, gym, sleep, and repeat. I was on autopilot for about 2 months, but looked in the mirror one of the days before I graduated and was like, whoa, the weight is gone. It helped to just have the weight loss routine down, but not be fixated on results. It just grind a bit and then reap the rewards. This is almost definitely different for everyone, but here is my experience. 4 to 5 days in, no visible physical change, but I noticed myself having greater self-confidence, more energy, and an overall improved mood. 4 weeks, I started noticing very small physical changes. 2 months, my close friends began to notice that I was visibly losing weight. And 5 months, the health problems that led me to lose weight went away, and my weight loss became virtually impossible not to notice by everyone that saw me. I'm ashamed to admit that sometimes I feel above advice. Sometimes I feel I think I've heard it all, or I know, but that doesn't make it easy for me. But I think I really needed to hear this right now. It's been over a month for me, and I'm starting to feel so much self-doubt, like it's not going to work or something. The scale hasn't been moving much lately, regardless of religiously weighing every gram of anything I consume. You're right though, you just have to keep at it no matter what. It has not been long enough at all to get discouraged, and if I just keep doing what I'm doing, I won't have a reason to get discouraged. I think maybe the self-doubt is an addiction device trying to weasel me out of this. I'm on week 6 and down 20 pounds, and still haven't really seen much difference in my appearance. I guess the more your starting weight is, 350 in my case, the less noticeable each weight incremental loss is. 5, 10, even 20 in my case hasn't been a noticeable difference. My clothes are slightly looser and I'm on the last hole of my belt, but I don't see it in the mirror, and the only people who've said something are people who already knew I was trying to lose weight, like my coworkers and my wife. The important thing is that it hasn't been a temptation to give up, and even those seemingly meager 2 to 3 pounds I lose each week are still huge encouragements. We sometimes forget this as well when we are a few months into our routine. Results can feel like they're slowing down, and that can be discouraging. That's when I like to take a moment, pretend as though it's back to my first day working out, and mark a day on my calendar 8 weeks away. I tell myself that between now and then, if I am consistent, I will notice a difference. I find for me, a huge part of this is psychological. I will want to see a certain result for weeks, but when I see it, I will celebrate for 5 minutes and then immediately move on to, I want this muscle to get bigger, or I want to burn even more fat. We have to take moments to celebrate better. I would love to hear if others have had this experience. Thank you for this. This is so true. I've only lost 5 pounds so far, but I hadn't been able to lose any weight in the last 3 years, so 5 pounds is more than I'd ever been able to do. Seeing my weight go down after so long is very exciting, and I hope to continue this. And I just wanted to second this. I've lost weight before and never used to notice it despite losing 30 pounds, but once you start to buy smaller clothes and hear it from others, it makes you feel good. We're so used to seeing our bodies every day that changes almost always go unnoticed. But looking back at old photos, I tell myself, wow, I can't believe I was so small. I used to think I was so fat despite everyone around me saying I had lost too much weight. My goal is to get back to that old weight again. I'm excited for this journey and seeing the way my body will change. Good luck to everyone. It's a hard process, but so worth it. I had never felt more confident than I did when I lost weight. You can do it. Oh man, I needed this today. I've been working out for 3 weeks, and the majority of my eating has been consistent, but we were moving all last week, and so takeaway was our only option because we've been so tired. I saw a picture of me from a few days ago, and I looked massive. I was wearing a skirt I'd worn a year ago, and you can really see the difference. The skirt is tight on my hips now. I feel discouraged because I'm working hard at the gym, and I feel stronger, but visually, I don't see anything. Thanks for the reminder. Things take time. I feel the same. I've been about 220 to 225 pounds since maybe April. I gained like 10 plus pounds in that month. I started recently going to the gym more. A few weeks have passed and I'm still the same weight, but I know from my progress at the gym, I am doing something. I'm getting stronger, my stamina has increased, and I'm adding to my routines. I may not physically look or feel lighter in my opinion, but I'm learning to measure in new ways. I took measurements at the beginning of the month and I will remeasure at the end to see what's changed. I feel you. I started at 200 pounds in February and went to 185 around April. Didn't see any change. Since April, I lost 5 pounds. And now in July, I see the change. Since I'm a student and get online teachings, because you know why, I only wore comfy clothes. When I went to work in July and had to dress up, I needed to really tighten my belt. I still got a little tummy and some fat at the love handles, but I reckon that if I continue to do workout and eat the same way, that they will go away as well. My goal weight is in sight, only 10 more pounds to go. I've lost around 35 pounds in the last 8 to 9 months, and I never really noticed any of it other than just how I felt. The other day, I visited my friend and my cousin after not seeing them for a while, around 8 to 9 months, and both of them individually told me I look like I lost weight. It's noticeable, even if you're not the one who notices it. I've lost 13 pounds in the past 2 months since I began to monitor my portions. I couldn't really see the change in my body until I looked at the progress pics 1 month apart. And good lord, you definitely don't see your body change, but it changes. And once you realize, it's the best feeling in the world. 64 pounds left. Go me. Go us. And that brings us to the end, Narwhals. Please tap subscribe to join the original 200k Narwhals. And lastly, here's our featured Narwhal of the day. A 5'2" female, 160 to 108 pounds over the course of 5+ years, from the heaviest to today. Lost 40 pounds in the last 13 months.